The Catechism of Perseverance. Course 1, Chapter 32. The Messiah promised and prefigured. 14th figure of the Messiah, Gideon, BC 1405. Question: by whom were the Hebrews governed after the death of Joshua? Answer: after the death of Joshua, the Hebrews were governed by judges. The judges were chosen by God. They led the people to battle and administered justice. There was only one at a time. Question: did the Hebrews long remain faithful to the Lord? Answer: the Hebrews soon forgot the promises they had made and so often renewed. They went so far as to forget even God himself and gave themselves up to idolatry. It was a woman and her son Micah who first set the example. Question: how did God punish them? Answer: God punished this crime and all that followed from it by sending against the Israelites the infidel nations and amongst others, the Midianites, who laid waste to the country. Question: by whom were the Hebrews delivered from the Midianites? Answer: the Hebrews were delivered from the Midianites by Gideon. Question: what miracle did God grant Gideon? Answer: Gideon, having assembled his army, asked of God 2 miracles to accredit his mission. The first was that a fleece of wool spread on the ground during the night should be covered with dew, while the ground around it should remain dry. The second was that the fleece should remain dry, while the surrounding ground should be wet with dew. The 2 miracles took place. Question: what did the Lord then say to Gideon? Answer: the Lord said to Gideon, the army is too numerous. Although there were only 32,000, the enemy had 135,000 men. I wish, said the Lord, that Israel may know that it is I alone who have delivered them. He ordered him to keep with him only 300 men. Question: how did Gideon obtain victory? Answer: when night had come, Gideon and his 300 men, armed only with trumpets and lamps and empty pitchers, advanced to the lines of the enemies. Immediately, they all began sounding their trumpets, broke the pitchers, and lifted up their lights. Their enemies, seized with fright, fled, overturning and killing one another without knowing it. Question: was Gideon a figure of the Messiah? Answer: Gideon was the 14th figure of the Messiah. Gideon was the last amongst his brothers. Our Lord deigned to appear the last among men. Gideon, notwithstanding his weakness, is chosen to deliver his people from the tyranny of the Midianites. Our Lord, notwithstanding his apparent weakness, is chosen to deliver the people from the tyranny of the devil. 2 great miracles prove that Gideon is chosen. The greatest miracles prove that our Lord is chosen, the liberator of men. Gideon, with only 300 men, marched against a whole host of enemies. Our Lord marches to the conquest of the universe with 12 fishermen. The soldiers of Gideon are without arms. The apostles of our Lord have only the preaching of the gospel and the lamp of charity. Gideon and his soldiers triumph over the Midianites. Our Lord and his apostles triumph over the world.